It therefore means that whenever we talk about a phrase, there are structural patterns that are so visible when we want to analyze it. We have the modifiers, or what we call the pre-modifiers. We have the head word and we have the qualifiers. Then I gave examples of words that can find their way into the pre-modifying section of a phrase. Sorry, pardon me. I think they just brought lights. Okay. So the phrase is now in three parts, consists of three independent parts: the pre-modifiers, the modifier, and the pre-modifier, the head word, and the qualifier. Then after we have discussed that, we said there are certain words that you can only find in the place of the modifiers, not any kind of word. And I gave an example: articles, or what we call determiners, adjectives, and adverbs can always find themselves in the position of the modifier. Why at the head word is oftentimes the most important element in the structure of a phrase. Last but not the least is the qualifier. The qualifier is it provides additional information about the head word. Then the third part we talked about is that, now what are the items that can be found in the modifier? You can have prepositional phrases, you can have adjectival phrases, you can have infinitive phrase, you can also have gerund. These are items that can be found in the position of the qualifiers. Now, what is the job of the qualifier? Why do we even need the qualifier in the first place? We need the qualifiers to provide additional information that could not have been provided by the modifiers. And that's why they are elementary. They are optional in the structure of a phrase. Then finally, I now talk to you about the head word. I said the head word is the most important element in the structure of a phrase, because once you drop the head word, others will fall like a pack of cards, meaning that others will be useless. I'm talking about the modifiers and the qualifiers. So what keeps them standing is the head word. So every information provided by the pre-modifiers and the qualifiers, or what you call post-modifiers, are both in line with, are both addressing the head word. So today, then we got to the point where we now gave an example of the tall black man wearing a blue t-shirt staring at me. That no matter the length of the number of words that the phrase is, if it does not contain a finite verb, it still remains a phrase. Don't mix it up. So, and finally, on the final note on the phrasal structure, I said there is no limit to the number of words that can form a phrase. You can have up to 10, 12, 14 words coming together to form a phrase. What is most important to you as an analyst is that where is the head word? Is the head word in the middle or the last word? And I gave an example. I think I'm trying to recall that example again. And I think that example is all the first 5 strong, huge, round, young, white African sea horses. You may wonder what kind of word is that? It's English and it's grammatical. Because all the structure, all the words precede the head word. So what you have there is just the modifier and the head word. All the first 5 strong, huge, round, young, white African sea horses. Okay? So you can have up to 11 words modifying the head word. Then going further today, from there we now went back to talk about the fact that the head word oftentimes determines the name of the phrase. In other words, if the head word is a noun, it means that phrase is a noun phrase. If the head word is a verb, it means that the phrase is a verb phrase. And if the head word is an adjective, it means that it is an adjectival phrase. And if it's an adverb, it means that it's an adverbial phrase. And that takes us to the next point. There are 5 types of phrasal verbs in English. Phrases in English: the noun phrase, the verb phrase, the adjectival phrase, and the prepositional phrase, and the adverbial phrase. And yesterday we were able to treat the noun phrase. And I also put it to you. I also made it clear to you that what is a noun phrase? It's simply defined as a phrase headed by a noun. Now, what qualifies it to be called a noun phrase simply because the head word is a noun. Then, and I also remember telling you that there are 3 functions that a noun phrase performs in the structure of a sentence. It can either be the subject of a sentence, the object of a sentence, or the complement of the subject in a sentence. All of these we discussed yesterday. So, and I gave a series of examples to demonstrate how a noun phrase can become the subject of a sentence, how it can also become the object of a sentence, and how it can also serve as the complement of the subject in the sentence. I gave examples yesterday. So I have spent the last 20 minutes to run through what we did over an hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes yesterday. So today we are moving forward. We are going to the next point, which is the verb phrase. The verb phrase is a phrase structure headed by a verb. Or let me put it this way. The verb phrase is a phrase structure headed by a finite verb. Okay? Now, this verb phrase, the structure is different from is similar to that of a noun phrase, not different, sorry. It's similar to that of, because it does not come with MHQ. It comes with AVE. It comes with AVE. A stands for auxiliary verb. The V stands for the main verb. And the E stands for extension. I'll take it again. The structure of a verb phrase is AVE. A stands for the auxiliary verb. The V stands for the main verb. And the E stands for the extension. Now, of course, your knowledge of the part of speech tells you that there are different types of verbs in English. We have the auxiliary verb and the lexical verbs. We have the finite verbs and the non-finite verbs. We have the static verb and the dynamic verbs. The same way we have the finite verb, the transitive and intransitive verbs. But all of this, what really concerns us is the auxiliary verb and the lexical verb. In this, because it's a verb phrase, it therefore stands as AVE. Now the A is in a bracket. Bracket in the sense that it is also optional. Just like the M in a noun phrase is optional. The auxiliary may not be there. Why the V is the important and the most vital element in a phrase structure. The E is also optional because it is also what? It can also be dropped. Let me give you an example. I love Nigeria. I love Nigeria. That is, I is the subject, S. Love is the predicate, P. Nigeria is what? Is the object, O. So in that sentence, we have the structure of SPO. Now, the word love there is the verb phrase. Why is it the verb phrase? Because it carries the main verb without the auxiliary and the extension. So what that simply means is that your verb phrase can come as a single element, and it can also come with an auxiliary without extension. And it could also come with extension and auxiliary. But the most important part is that your auxiliary your main verb is constant. I love Nigeria. Now let us look at another sentence. I would love Nigeria forever. I would love Nigeria forever. Please, don't mind the sentence because I assume that some of you are already laughing. Some of you are already laughing. Like, this one, why are you using this kind of example? Whether you like it or not, you're a Nigerian. So that's on the latter mood. So I would love Nigeria forever. The structure is CSPOA. Now we have added A. S, the I there stands for the subject. Would love stands for the predicate. Nigeria stands for object. Forever stands for adjunct. So we have the structure, that sentence structure. The analysis shows that it is SPOA. Now let's look at the phrase structure, the verb phrase structure in that sentence. I would love Nigeria forever. Would love, the modal verb would is an auxiliary verb. We have three types of auxiliary verb or auxiliary verbs. We have the modal auxiliary verbs, we have the be form, and we have the do forms. Okay, but would falls under the modal auxiliary verb, so it is an auxiliary. Why the word love is the main verb. So you have a structure of AV of that verb phrase. In that verb phrase, I would love Nigeria forever. I would love Nigeria forever. So you underline would love. Then under would, you put A in a parenthesis. Under the love, you put VL, meaning lexical verb, or you can put VM. Now that shows that this structure, this verb phrase structure is different from the initial one. I love Nigeria. That one only has VM, which indicates main verb. Then I can also expand it further to accommodate an extension. I would continue to love Nigeria. I would continue to love Nigeria. Underline would continue to love. Underline would continue to love. So now, this sentence still maintains the same structure. SPO. Or let's even expand it. I would continue to love Nigeria forever. So we now have SPOA. So what you now have is, I said underline would continue to love. which means your would there is now our auxiliary, which is normal, which is constant, because it's a modal auxiliary verb. Continue is now taking the place of the VM, the main verb. To love now gives us an extension. And that is what? That is a finite, that is an infinitive verb. To love. So it comes as an extension. Now, what we have succeeded in doing now is to show that the verb phrase structure can come in form of A, V, and E. It can also come in form of A and V. And it can also come in form of V alone. So once we have this at the back of our minds, it gives us an understanding that the verb phrase structure appears this way. Okay? And another interesting thing about the verb phrase structure is just like the noun phrase structure too, where you can have 4 or 5 words coming as a modifier. Coming as modifiers. It's also possible that you can have up to 3 or 4 auxiliaries coming before the main verb in a verb phrase. So let me give an example. By this time next week, I will have been working for 14 years. By this time next week, I will have been working for 6 years. For 14 years. That is also a sentence structure. I want you to underline, we have been working. Underline that in your notes. We have been working. Working, that WORKING, for 14 years. Full stop. Now, if you take a look at the structure, we have been working. There are 3 auxiliaries there. Remember, I spoke to you earlier, there are 3 types of auxiliary. We have the modal auxiliary, we have the be auxiliary, and we have the do auxiliary. So what we have there is we have been. So we have 3 auxiliary preceding our main verb. We have been. And what's our main verb there? Working. Working. So that gives us a sense of control over how we form our sentences, how we form meaningful and acceptable sentences. So that means that in that structure, in that verb phrase structure, we have 3 auxiliaries. Number 1, the we. Number 2, the have. And number 3, the be. Okay? Number 1, the we. Number 2, the have. And number 3, the be.
It's muted.
So what we have is A, V, which means auxiliary followed by auxiliary followed by another auxiliary. Now that is one interesting thing about the English language. It's so unpredictable and so interesting to speak. But when it comes down to the analysis or writing it, it becomes complex. And what makes it complex or difficult for some people is because we don't want to obey certain rules. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is about the verb phrase structure. So, yes, I also mentioned something that just struck my mind. That is it possible for us to just have V and E without the A? When I say I'm sure you know I'm referring to auxiliaries. The V and the E only. Yes. I'm sure you have heard about phrasal verbs. phrasal verbs. These are examples of verb phrase structures with V and E. For example, the patient gave up this morning. Or let me look for another example. He stood up for his elderly one. He stood up for the elderly ones. Underline in your notebook, stood up. Stood up. He stood up for the elderly ones. Underline, stood up. In the normal English speaking community, stood up is a phrasal verb. But of course, what we call is also a verb phrase, it's also a part of verb phrase. So in that, when we do the analysis of that phrasal verb, which is stood up, what you have is the main verb. What you have is the main verb and the extension, which is the up. So what we are talking about here is that sometimes we don't just speak, we speak based on extant rules, guiding how we speak and what we write. So we also have different examples where we can have the V and E only without the auxiliaries. We have examples like come back. We have examples like go back. We have examples like come in. You can come in. You can come in as AVE. Can, auxiliary verb. A, come, main verb, in. The E, auxiliary. Speak up. Speak up is also another example of VM and E, where we have the speak as the main verb and the E as the auxiliary. I think we have to go to another one now so that we can move forward. Then the third one is the adjectival phrase. The adjectival phrase. An adjectival phrase is simply defined as a phrase structure headed by an adjective. An adjectival phrase is a phrase structure headed by an adjective. So when you have a sentence and the phrase and the adjectival phrase, that adjectival phrase plays the role of an adjective. I may give you a sentence and underline a section in that sentence and ask you, tell me the grammatical name and the grammatical function of this sentence. I mean, of the underlined expression. It is not your responsibility to look through the underlying expression and identify the the head word there. Because the head word of a noun phrase is a noun. The head word of a verb phrase is the main verb. Now we are talking about an adjectival phrase. An adjectival phrase, of course, plays the role of an adjective in a sentence structure. It does not play the role of a verb or a noun. For instance, adjectives are words that what do they do? They modify nouns or pronouns. They modify nouns or pronouns. Okay, they are modified because they describe or qualify. They describe the qualities or qualify nouns or pronouns. So adjectives are used to paint a picture, describe the shapes or the sizes of a noun, or create an impression of nouns or pronouns in the minds of the language user. Now, what is the structure of an adjectival phrase? MHQ. I repeat, the structure of an adjectival phrase is MHQ. What does that mean? It means that the most important element in an adjectival phrase is the adjective. The M stands for the pre-modifiers, while the Q stands for qualifiers. Now, what are the words that can pre-modify and qualify an adjective? They are known as adverbs. Of course, adverbs modify adjectives. Just the same with the modified verbs. Yes, you are too beautiful. You are too beautiful. So underline too beautiful. When you underline too beautiful, you will now see that there is no noun there or a verb. What you have there is too beautiful. So the word too, that T-O-O, is an adverb, giving us an impression about the beauty, the radiance of the beauty. You are just too beautiful. And it's also possible that we have two modifiers. You are just too beautiful. You are just too beautiful. MMH. Unlike you are beautiful. So what does it, anyway, we get to adverbs, we talk about the grammatical role of an adverb. You are just too beautiful. Just is a modifier. Too is also a modifier. Why the head word is beautiful. Okay, so we can have it. So when you underline just too beautiful, consisting of 3 words, the first 2 words there are what we call modifiers, pre-modifying the word, the head word beautiful. You are just too beautiful. So when I ask what is the grammatical name of the underlying expression, you can now say that it's an adjectival phrase. Why? Because it is headed by an adjective, beautiful. And what is the function in that sentence? It functions as the complement of the subject. You are just too beautiful. Okay? So that is that about that. Now, because, or you can say it qualifies the noun phrase, you. Okay? That is the grammatical function. Another one is handsome boys are very tempting. Handsome boys are very tempting. So we have M and H there too. Very tempting. The word very there is also a modifier, modifying the adjective tempting. What is the grammatical name? Is an adjectival phrase. What is the function? It qualifies the noun phrase, handsome boys. Handsome boys are very tempting. I may decide to underline very tempting and ask you to tell me what is the grammatical name of the underlying expression. It is called an adjectival phrase. Okay? Now, is it possible for us to have an adjectival phrase with an extent with a qualifier? Yes. My car was covered in thick mud. My car covered in thick mud is in my garage. My car covered in thick mud is in my garage. Now, covered there in thick mud. Okay. Covered there in that structure it looks like a verb. It is not a verb. It is an adjective. My car covered in thick mud is in my garage. These are some of the intricacies around how we use the English language, around the use of English language. You might be wondering, the word cover, covered. Is it not the past tense of a verb? Sir, no. Take a second look at that sentence. My car covered in thick mud. It is not that in that place where that word is giving us an impression, describing what has happened to my car, qualifying my car. It's not performing any action. It's not indicating any state of mind, because that's what verb do. It either tells you the state of mind, the state of being, or action taking place. So, as I said, I'm going to be exposing you to some of the things that you may not have been exposed to, or you may find awkward, but they are grammatical. Even if you look at them yourself patiently and you turn them over in your head, you would have realized that it is what it is. My car covered in thick mud is in my garage. So the head word there is the adjective covered, which is age. And in thick mud there is the qualifier. So we can also have the structure of an adjectival phrase as as H and Q. As H and Q. So forming our adjectival phrase. So if I now underline covered in thick mud, you cannot say, what is this? This one is not an adjective. No. Take a second look at it very well. The house painted in yellow and brown is where my office is located. Or let's say the building painted in yellow and brown is where my office is located. You will not be wondering, painted, I did not paint, I've painted now. The word is a verb. No. Grammatically, it is an adjective. It is playing the role of an adjective in that sentence structure. So let's go on without wasting much time on that. I hope we can finish our phrases today. The adverbial phrase. The adverbial phrase. What is an adverbial phrase? An adverbial phrase is a phrase headed by an adverb. An adverbial phrase is a group of words that perform the role of an adverb by modifying the verb. Now, what is the work of an adverb? It modifies the verb. So there's no way you have a sentence without the presence of a verb. So interestingly, what the adverb does is to modify the verb. So beyond that, is another word for an adverb is that it functions as an adjunct in a sentence structure. So it can appear at the initial position, it can be in the medial position, and it can be at the endpoint position. So the most important thing is that an adverb modifies a verb. So the same thing, an adverbial phrase modifies the verb in the phrase, modifies the verb in the sentence. An adverbial phrase modifies the verb in the sentence. Let me give you an example. The only river in my town flows freely early in the morning. An adverbial phrase modifies the verb. So, okay, before I even go into the example, what is the structure of an adverbial phrase? MHQ also. There will be a modifier, there will be a head word, and there will be qualifiers. Okay. Now, in this example now, the only river in my village flows freely, okay, early in the morning. Now, what does now underline freely early in the morning? Then it tells us that freely there is an adverb. Early there is an adverb. In the morning also is an adverbial phrase, but we have put them together as an adverbial phrase. Now, where is the head word there? The head word there is the time. Because an adverb tells you about time, place, frequency, okay, manner, or reason, an action is performed. So it is not enough for you to now look at the grammatical structure or the sentence structure to now say, oh, this is the Edward. The only river in my village flows freely early in the morning. Sorry. Okay, I think I'm back live now. Okay, sorry for that little interruption there. So if I ask what is the grammatical name? The grammatical name is an adverbial phrase of time, because it says the only river in my village flows freely early in the morning. It tells the listener the time that the river flows. And what is the grammatical function? It modifies the verb flows. Okay, let's look at another example. She failed all her paper due to her laziness. I don't want to use an adverb now, so that it doesn't appear as if an adverb is always ending in ly. Let us use another example. She failed all her papers due to her laziness. Underline due to her laziness. Underline due to her laziness. Now take a look at that structure. She failed all her papers due to her what? Her laziness. Underline due to her laziness. Now, what type of verb is that? I mean, what type of phrase is that? Is an adverbial phrase of reasoning. Due to her laziness. When you look at the phrase structure, you'll be wondering, but there is no adverb here. What we are looking at, we are not looking at the individual words. We are looking at the grammatical rules, the grammatical function. Because a noun can play the role of a verb can play the role of a noun. An adjective can play the role of an adverb. The same way an adverb can also play the role of an adjective. So we should begin to open our minds so that our level of competence can be improved on due to our laziness. So it's an adverbial phrase of reason. Why did she fail? She failed due to her laziness. Look, let me give another example that may look simple to you. The young couple separated rather sorrowfully. The young couple separated rather sorrowfully. Underline rather sorrowfully in your note. Underline rather sorrowfully. The young couple separated rather sorrowfully. Now, you would have seen that the grammatical name is an adverbial phrase. But what is the grammatical function? It modifies the verb separated. It tells us how the separated. So it's an adverbial phrase of manner. The manner with which they separated rather sorrowfully. I'm going to give it, of course, you trust me. For those of them who attended yesterday's class, there will be a question and answer session, and there will also be a time for class assessment. Let me call it online class assessment. Now, let's go over to some examples that I want you to do on your own as a form of self-assessment. Write down these 3 sentences for me to know that you are flowing with me. We're on the same page. Take your pen and your paper and write down these 3 sentences. He studied very hard so as to pass his examinations well. I repeat. He studied very hard so as to pass his examinations well. Now, underline so as to pass his examinations well. Underline, so as to pass his examinations well. Number 2, I take a cup of tea every day. I take a cup of tea every day. Underline, every day. Then, last but not the least, is I love my mother. I love my mother because she is all I have. Because of her care. Because of her care. Okay. I love my mother because of her care. Underline, because of her care. Now, these are the 3 sentences. So if you want to respond, you can only answer one of the 3 questions. You will tell me the grammatical name and the grammatical function of that expression. And please, we all know that they are all adverbial phrases. You have to think through so that you can have your full marks. You will tell me what type of adverbial phrase is it. I take the first one, the last one again. I love my mother because of her care, full stop. Underline, because of her care. Then I said number 2, I take a cup of tea every day. I said underline, every day. Then number 3, he studied very hard so as to pass his examination well. Underline, so as to pass his examination well. So I want to leave the floor open for those who would like to respond to my question. We are in a session of an online class self-assessment. If you have an answer to any of these 3 questions, unmute your mic, introduce yourself, tell us which of the 3 questions you want to answer, and let us know your answer. Thank you. Unmute yourself if you want to respond, so that I will know that we are all on the same page. I'm not just talking to myself alone. For the first one, if you are ready to talk, you have to first unmute your mic from your phone so that you will have the floor. Anybody?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Your name? Introduce yourself.
My name is Abdulsalam, sir.
You can use your video if you want us to see you. But if you don't want to use it, you are free.
My name is Abdulsalam, sir.
Yes, I said you can. We would like to see your face. If you are in a place, you can show yourself. But if you don't want to show yourself, you are free to go ahead. You can use your video. You can share your video.
About the number.
Your name is what?
My name is Abdulsalam.
Okay, Abdulsalam, go ahead.
I take a cup of subject. Can I go on, sir?
Yes, we are listening. We are all listening to you. Everybody's listening to you. You are not audible. Your voice breaking.
I mean, the idea is the subject.
Okay.
The take is the verb.
Okay.
And the everyday, a cup of tea, is the direct object. And the last, every day, is the adverbial phrase of time.
Okay. For what you said, I just got it that it's an adverbial phrase of time. What is the grammatical function? You have told us the grammatical name. What is the grammatical function?
The whole sentence or a particular or the last one, the everyday.
The grammatical name is an adverbial phrase of time according to you. Now, what is the grammatical function? What function is it
So is
perform?
it the whole sentence, sir?
You have not been following
Yes, sir.
us. You have not been following us from the beginning.
Yes, sir. I have network issue.
You have network issues. Okay, so we pardon you. But I will not let the cat out of the bag. You have made a good attempt. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I score you 6/10. 6/10.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
It's a good attempt. Okay. So who else? Okay, mute your mic, please, so that somebody else can talk.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Your name?
My name is Denbo Kweyemi, sir.
Okweyemi Denbo. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, I want to answer
Which of the sentences?
Number one. Yes, he studied very hard so as to pass the examination well. He said we should underline so as to pass the examination well. That?
Yes. Yes, what's the grammatical name?
Adverbial phrase of purpose.
Very good. Okay, so, what about the grammatical function?
It functions as the one we underline so as to pass the examination well is indicating the purpose of studying very hard, which is the other phrase there, the verb there.
Okay, thank you, Okweyemi. Let me help you out. I score you 9/10. 9/10. You have the idea, but you didn't explain it well. Now I score you 9/10 because see, you don't have to stress yourself. It's not difficult. It's an adverbial phrase of purpose. That is the grammatical name, and the function is that it modifies the verb studied. It's simple. It modifies the verb studied. It's as simple. That's the grammatical function. The function gives us an impression of what's okay, because the adverbial phrase modifies what? The verb. Thank you, Okweyemi. So you can mute your mic, let somebody else come up. So we are done with number one. So we have number 2 and number 3 for another speaker. Number 2 and number 3 for another speaker. The floor is open. Are there no people again?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Your name, introduce yourself.
My name is Zainab, sir.
Zainab.
I want to answer question number 3. I love my mother because of her care. You asked us to because of her care, and because of her care is an adverbial phrase of reason.
Okay.
And it indicates the word, it qualifies the word love. The verb love.
Good. Very good. Verb love. Very good. At least you are flowing with me. So we still have number 2 hanging. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you. You got 10-10. You got 10-10. Thank you. Then we still need the last one. We have the last one pending. The number 2. I take a cup of tea every day. Who will bear the cat? Because adverbial phrases tell us why, how, when, where, and what for. Who else is talking to us? I take a cup of tea every day.
Hello, sir.
Hello. I've not heard your voice, Joy, since. What happened? Are you sure you are okay?
I'm at work.
Oh, you didn't You did not join us. You are at work.
I joined
No
you.
wonder.
I'm at work. Okay.
Okay, you are still at work.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So every
okay. I'm
day
sorry
is
about
their
that.
verbal phrase. The
Okay.
grammatical function, it is when, like that when, like every day is their verbal phrase of time. And
Of time.
yes, the verbal phrase of time is every day. Yes.
Okay.
So it tells
What about the
when the
grammatical
actions
function?
happen. The
What about the
grammatical
grammatical
function,
function?
everyday functions, yes. It tells when the events happen, the actions happen. That's the grammatical function. Every day.
I'm sorry to say this, you didn't get it. Joy.
Okay, sir. All right.
But you at least you made an attempt. Thank you. Let me listen to
sir.
one person more. Okay. Look at it again.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Who is talking to us? Your name, introduce yourself. Good
So
afternoon. Introduce yourself.
My name is Obiora Chizoba.
Okay, Chizoba. Can you attempt the last question? I take a cup of tea every day. Okay, underline cup every day.
Underline every day.
Okay.
The grammatical name is adverbial phrase of time. And the function modifies take.
It modifies and the function modifies. Okay.
Take.
Chizoba, I give you 5/10. Do we see another person or should just let the cat out of the bag? Do we see another person wants to try? Blessing, you are not talking. No. Are you with us in body and spirit? Blessing is not with us again. No. Is someone else trying with us? Is someone ready? Okay.
I'm here now.
Okay, Blessing. Can you make an attempt?
Yes, sir. The last one, I take a cup of tea every day with every day on the line. The everyday is a adverbial phrase of time. Why the function? It tells us how often the action takes place.
Okay, let me just say you. Okay, Blessing, I score you 6/10. Okay, yeah, somebody's talking. Okay, go ahead. You introduce yourself. Your name is what?
Obi Chiamaka Kaitochukwu.
Please take it easy with me. Your voice seems to. What's your name?
Obi Chiamaka Kaitochukwu.
Okay, Obi Chiamaka. Okay, Obi, you have the floor.
Okay, this is an verbal phrase providing the reason of frequency. This sentence describes the daily activities, the daily habits of someone, like taking tea every day. This is a daily habit. So this verbal phrase describes the daily habits for us.
An adverbial phrase taking what?
This is indicating frequency. This verbal phrase indicates the frequency of the statement. I take a cup of tea every day.
An adverbial phrase of frequency. Good. What's the grammatical function?
It describes a daily habit.
It does what? You can see I'm even pressing my ear towards my phone. So that I can hear you.
It describes a daily habit.
Okay, 5/10 too. Okay, now let's end the discussion so that we save our time. Because I can see it's like Rebecca wants to talk. Anyway, I take a cup of tea every day. What is the grammatical name? I mean, underline the word every day. Every day there is an adverbial phrase of frequency, not time. Not time. The earlier one I said, the only river in my village flows freely early in the morning. It's an adverbial phrase of time because it tells us how, the particular time it flows. Whereas this one, I take it every day, means I'm indicating frequency. So it's an adverbial phrase of frequency. That is the grammatical name. Now, what is the function? It modifies the verb take. So on this note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. I enjoy talking to every one of you with the time we have spent together today. Unfortunately, I was expecting that we'll be up to 100. We are just 41 as I'm speaking now online, which means a lot of us are not still part of this online program yet. I don't know. I want to believe Blessing is doing our best to bring everybody on board. Okay. But I want to believe that those of us who have joined us today, this live session, we have had a nice time together because I have enjoyed my time discussing an interesting topic that I enjoy discussing any day, anytime, anywhere with my students. Phrases in English. So thank you very much for your time. But before I go, yes, I was told yesterday that there are textbooks that you have to get. There is one titled The Use of English. The Use of English. Okay. You get it when, okay. And the copy is 3,200. And there is one for grammar. And that one is 900. But this one is more important because it contains all the segments of the course outline. I can see some people just joining us now. Yeah, it's already late because we're already bringing the lecture to an end. So please get your copies and start reading ahead of time until your resumption. I wish you all the best. Enjoy yourself. It's my pleasure talking to every one of you. So bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye, sir. Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Please, you guys, I'm selling tote bag. Come and buy your tote bag.
Kilo Zele, tote bag, you come.
Kilele. Joy, come and buy your
tote bag. Nisha. You guys.
Oh, Josh.
Oh, you're fair. Baba, last stop.
At the end of the day, everybody can't follow their self-talk, John. I lie,
Come and buy tote bag. Who
is Taylor?
I they say tote bag.
Be Taylor. You be Taylor, Louis Vuitton designer.
Nice.
Baby me. Tourism, going to be me to Kuala. I'm a tourism. Koro.
Want a condom boxer? No. Never fair. I want that.
I want a ticket.
I'll want to pretend that I look him up.
Fuck off, babe.
Going to be I'm a tourism. The book of many new class. Going to be doing on the day.
I'm Salam, show your way to back.
Kuni post ọ̀rọ̀ bá mi tọrọ gan kò tí gbà ó rí ni.
Mo ti bẹ̀ o. Mi kú
Let's go water. Kó gbà tí nga skẹ́dì fún.
lọ ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì fún mi.
Kí ra fún ẹ ṣé o máa tẹ̀ díẹ̀ ní oúnjẹ kò tẹ̀ díẹ̀ náà máa ṣe ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì fún ẹ.
Kò lè ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì fún mi. Wàá gbórí wá sí.
Ara ọ̀fẹ́ yóò máa di tẹ̀ díẹ̀.
Emily máa rà fún mi tó lè ní tẹ̀dí ìwé tí stupid. Lọ́ra fóònù ọ̀fẹ́.
Ọ̀rẹ́ fẹ́ nípa ìyàwó mi ẹ máa wọ̀ọ́rì màá rà á fún un.
Gbogbo yẹn wá ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì o, kò mọ́ o.
Òun polówó tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì tó sì di màṣíìnì tó sì rẹ́dí.
Àwọn tá a sọ pé mo rà kaná o, ẹ wá sọ
Polówó bá àwọn obìnrin ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀, èmi tó wọ́n native. Polówó bá àwọn obìnrin ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀.
Ó dàbọ̀ lọ́wọ́ aṣọ.
Tọ́lá ní tó yẹ tó ń wo wà.
Ọ̀dẹ̀ wá ra
You are Alpha now. Everything set up. You are Alpha.
My love, I'm fine.
You're calling me your love, but you don't ask of me. You don't holiday. I mean, I'm with the partner of school, but with your holiday, you don't ask of me. No, be so.
You know, ask of me now.
Now you don't like me again. I don't think I still like you. Ẹ wàá tó mi kí ló ṣe Blackie. Mi kún. Oya now make na enjoy abeg. You still get another online class make I save my data.
Alright, bye-bye.
Yeah, take care.
Orí ọ̀fẹ́. Mommy.
How will we write attendance? So
Anu.
Ibo ni ẹ.
What is happening here? Is no one talking?
Hello. Where are you going? Hello.
Where is the lecturer?
Where are you going?
Has the class ended or what? Or more? I don't even understand.
Random, but we done shot down, and then it never done. I'm telling y'all, better get them random. One thing I know, I'm a
Tari báyìí.
Ìyẹn máa lọ́wọ́ mi.
Bọ́ọ̀lù ṣe ń lo taste like that for Vienna, baby.
Thanks for joining.